Okay then, so question been coming in on a fairly regular basis since COVID has been, should I change my niche? Which is a huge question. So you take your decision out by 15 degrees, by 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, complete different destination. Niche is taken out by 90% in completely different destination. It's a big question. So it depends what your starting position is, first of all. So what do you need right now? So there's really three types of recruitment search business owner right now from what I can see. Number one, we've got those who are trying to survive and get through this pandemic. So those are the ones who are maybe had a massive drop, or they've at a plateau, probably below 100,000. And for those, there'll be one answer. The second type, there'll be the business owner who is in a place of not complete pain, as in we're going to go under, but in a place of, right, we know that the playing field's changed, now it's time to change it, but also need to make sure we've got cash flow coming in. Then you've got the third business, which is those who are looking to dominate the niche. So they've known for a long time that the old way, one-to-one, proactively going out for business, treating every lead the same. So what I mean by that is sporadically going out, picking up the phone, going to networking meetings, but not having a real strategy to grow the business. But they know the times have changed, and now they've got either the resource, they've got the investment, they've got the mindset, they've got the team to make that change. So let's take on number one first of all. So for those who are in a place of pain right now, so we're in survival mode, and we need to get from survival to stable. So what do we do in terms of niche? So, you know, in my own mentoring group, my own coaching group, we've had new members come in. There's a couple of things happened. On the one hand, depending on your position, so again, giving direction on a business without knowing the starting position, starting metrics would be unprofessional and unwise of me to do that. But I'll take a generic person, okay, generic business. So somebody comes in and let's say that they work in, quote, I work in IT. I say to them, work in IT, great. So who's your client, who's your candidate? Say, well, my clients are anywhere in the USA, my candidates are anywhere in the USA. So right, so there's 300,000 candidates potentially, and there's 100,000 clients potentially, or whatever the number's gonna be. They say, yeah. Right, so we need to get to $100,000 per year, $10,000 per month. Let's take out January and December. And to do that, to get $10,000 per month, we need to get 3 placements of 3,000, roughly, okay? So to get to that place, we need to get 3 placements of 3,000. Someone's excited. So to get to that place, 3,300, so 3 placements of that. What needs to happen is, Alfie, in your bed, mate. Sorry, I'm upstairs. Alfie, in your bed, mate. So, we've got Alfie, in your bed. Come on. So, first thing's this. We know we need to get 3 placements per month, yeah? So to get 3 placements per month, but I don't know the starting position. The starting position might be, you've got a role in Texas, you've got a role in New York, you've got a role in San Francisco, you've got a role in all over the place, and they're completely disparate roles, but your pipeline might be chocker. But have you got the candidates to fill those roles? The first thing is, can we get the candidates in a mechanical, not my way of working, but is there a way where we can systemize and get these roles filled? So there might be 10 different roles you have in your pipeline from different cities or different types of skill set, but is there a way we can systematically go bam, 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 and get the candidates? If so, do that. Do that now to get the roles filled. Now, ideally, if you want to break 100,000, and if you come in with, right, my niche is Java development, I focus on Java developers in New York. My particular industry is investment banking. There are 3,334 clients, and there are 12,046 candidates. Right, we know exactly what we're dealing with. So to then fill those roles, or even if we've got no roles right now, it becomes fairly simple to identify who the clients are, then create a process to engage with them to get an inbound response to see whether they've got roles now or will do in the next month or 2. And then when the role comes in, we know that that client needs this candidate. So then we can get that candidate fairly simply. because we've got a targeted market, a targeted client market, a targeted candidate market, and they match up like online dating. So going back to the, should I change my niche from under 100,000? What I say is stick close to the money, stick close to the money. And normally when I speak to a recruitment search business, even those who are doing 10 million or those who are a startup, very few have a strategic foundation in place. So these are my clients, these are my candidates, this is what we do to bring in leads, this is what we do to convert them, this is what we do to systemize the process, replicate the process, this is what we do to then roll it out across 20 desks, this is what we do for authority, this is what we do for etc, etc. Rarely see that if at all. So what I say is stick close to the money, number one. Number two is stick to the high reward tasks. So what I mean by that is don't be fucking about now with articles and fucking about with, I'm gonna do my first podcast now. No, you can, we've got, it's fairly typical to get number one on iTunes when we use our podcast strategy, which is called Podcast Pitcher. It's fairly the norm to get number one on iTunes. However, I don't really care about that for my members. What I care about, we got to number one on iTunes, but how much business do we get from it? Or how many highly qualified candidates do we get from it? Now, the podcast gives us authority and sustainability longer term, but what I'm concerned about is, right, end of these 30 days, we need to judge, did you get your 10,000? So we need a quicker input, process, output. With a podcast, it's more reactive. So you put it out there and it's reactive in terms of who comes to it. You can control the audience to a certain degree. We haven't got time for that. So if you're under 100K, forget all that. What you should be focusing on is number one, bringing in leads. Number two, bringing in the exact candidates to match those leads. That's what you should be focusing on. For most of you, you can get some really good systems and running metrics in place just by using LinkedIn. If you're in Germany, Zing, etc. Okay, so I'd focus on, right, I need a role. Who's my client? Let's engage my client. Right, I've got the role. I need the candidate. Let's get the candidate. Now again, I don't need a starting position, but keep it focused. Don't fuck about with, I need authority. No, you don't. If you're below 100K, you just need to get the lead in. You need to get the candidate in. You need to convert them. That's all you do. And by the way, when your client checks you out, so you engage with the client or the prospect, they'll do two things. Number one, they're going to check out your website, they're going to check out your LinkedIn profile. Just make sure your website and your LinkedIn profile reflect what you do. So what industry you're in, what location do you cover, what role do you deliver, what role do you deliver to, i.e. the role of the candidates are bum, 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 bum. The roles of the hiring managers you deliver to are bum, 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 bum. Or if HR involved, have that on your website, have them on your LinkedIn, because they'll run that as a sanity check. They spend no more than 7 seconds, well, 5 to 10 seconds on your LinkedIn profile. They'll scroll through it, see whether you're a fit in the niche, then spend a bit more time on it. Same with your website. Don't overthink it. Automation, not at the point now if under 100K. Number two person. So number two person is those who are they're plateauing. Times come to change, but also we need to keep an eye on cash flow. Keep an eye on cash flow. Now again, what's the starting position? Starting position is, in fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this in a separate video. Do the second part in a separate video. So with that said, for those in under 100K, stick close to the money.